In 1980, a man approached Angelina Narcisse in the Haitian city of Leicester, claiming to be her brother Clairvius. The only problem is that Clairvius Narcisse died in 1962. Welcome to Paranominon. I'm Devin.
And I'm Kaden. Well, it's been an eventful week, to say the least.
Oh my God, I'm so sick. I'm so sick of this week. I try to be grateful for the things I have. I'm grateful for you, Kaden.
Grateful for you, Tim.
Grateful for the things we have, the necessities, but wow, it has been an exhausting ride this past week. Really 90 days. Um, really good news because I like to keep to the positive most of the time. Um, really excited that we finally brought Crowley home, the puppy, and he is a handful some of the time, but I will say he's a lot more chill than I was expecting.
He's a potato.
He kind of just chills around, lays around at our feet, chewing our toes. It's adorable.
He's very cute. He is a good boy. He does not listen though. We're working on that.
He's starting to listen a little bit more as we talk to him
Yes.
and interact with him.
Yes. We did get a win that he is starting to get the concept of when we go outside, we pee. So that's been exciting.
Yeah, the first night of having him, I thought it was going to be impossible to get him to go outside. But by the next day, he started going outside and getting the hint that he needs to pee outside.
Yeah. He's doing good. So no complaints now. The manager's very displeased. We are dealing with that. He does not like Crowley.
That is the most upsetting, expected, and stressful part of this is Caligula. He sees the dog just a little bit and starts hissing and then runs off.
It is getting a little bit better. So the first day and a half, he wouldn't even come into the room with him. Now he'll come and he'll look at him. It's just if Crowley looks at him, he hisses. So, but I'm hoping that maybe, so this morning, he finally did come and lay down a little bit with Devin while the dog was at the end of the bed. It was only probably like, what, like 5 minutes, and then he hissed at him and left, but he did it. So that was progress. That was a win for me.
And I saw him on my side of the bed on the floor, just chilling and looking. So he stayed on the side of the bed for a while until I fell asleep. So at least until I fell asleep. I don't know how long he was there, but that was nice. Just the fact that he was able to be in the same room and lay in the bed at least until Crowley looked at him.
And then it was over. Well, we'll see. We'll keep everybody informed, and Caligula will definitely be letting everybody on the Patreon know exactly how he feels. So if you want the direct insight, make sure you subscribe to Patreon. But that's
Caligula is my best friend, and he takes priority. So, it's really upsetting to see my best buddy stressed like this. I didn't know he would be this stressed. I knew it would be stressful and something to get used to but since he's been around a dog before, I was fairly optimistic maybe it would be a little bit easier.
I mean, I will say it's not going terribly, for cats and dogs, so he's not attacking the dog.
I want him to. I want Caligula to strike fear into that dog.
Well, no, you don't want him to attack the dog, though. Like, he's not seeking out the dog to attack the dog is what I'm saying. Like, he's hissing at him. The only thing that he hasn't done is, like, take up for himself, but the dog doesn't really seem to want to mess with him. He wants to investigate him, but, I mean, it could be a lot worse is what I'm saying. Like, and just because he was around a dog before, Ava was our dog. She just passed away in, August, and they grew up together. So, he was a baby when he was brought home, and Ava was already here. So that's a little bit different. Also, Ava was the same size as him. Crowley's a giant.
We'll never have a dog that could ever replace Ava at
Mm,
all.
never. Absolutely not. And I think low key, that's part of his resentment. He's like, who is this strange beast? Where's my sister? So he's having a hard time with her passing. So part of the reason why we got the puppy is we wanted him to have a companion, and he's never done well with other cats. It's never been a good time for him with other cats.
I
So
would feel like I was betraying Caligula
if
if I got another
you
cat.
got another cat,
Yeah, I couldn't do that to him.
I think that they will eventually become at least respectful companions. I don't know if they're ever going to be friends. We'll see though. Maybe it'll surprise me. Maybe Caligula will warm up and they'll be the best buddies, cuddle buddies. But we'll see. So everyone say a prayer that they become cordial.
That's all I need.
Yeah, just cordial. We want everyone to have a peaceful home experience, so we'll see.
I just want to cuddle with the cat on one arm when I go to sleep and snuggle with the dog on the other arm. That's what I want, and they don't have to be friends at all. Plus, I just don't want the dog to eat the cat, because I did not think that this dog would be as big as he is, and he is just getting huge.
We will put pictures on Facebook as we get them, but Crowley is a big boy. He's 8 weeks old as of yesterday, and he weighs
14
14
pounds.
pounds. So and his paws are giant. They are big old paws. He's gonna be a big boy, so
We weren't planning on getting a dog for a long time, but our friend Cheyenne sent pictures of her newborn pups, and I saw this dog with his little eyebrows, and I just fell in love with him. So,
he does have the most expressive eyebrows, and here's the thing, I think he's gonna be a really good boy. He's sweet. He's very sweet and very playful. He has an attitude, though, I can already tell. Yeah, he's gonna fit in. He's gonna be a good fit personality-wise. It's just we gotta get the cat to really be on board.
he's got me exercising, we've been running at each other and stuff, and roughhousing.
It's been good. It's been good. So Crowley update, that's the Crowley update. Caligula is managing from a distance remotely currently because he does not want to be involved. Other than that, the holidays are coming up, as everyone knows. Anyone have any recommendations or requests for stories for the holidays? Please send them in. We would love to know what you want to hear. I really think we should do a Krampus episode. Personally, I think that would be really seasonally appropriate, but we'll see.
Well, you know how I feel about Christmas, so I really don't wanna do anything about Christmas. I hate the Christmas music, I hate the holiday
You're such
spirit.
a
I
Grinch.
just don't like Christmas. I
So
really don't.
Devin hates Christmas, and I love Christmas, and we married each other. So, what do you think happens in our house?
I love Halloween.
I mean, I love Halloween too, but
It's Halloween every day of the year for me. I
oh,
love Halloween.
all right. Well,
Still watching horror movies on Hallow on Christmas.
it's Christmas. I'm excited for Christmas. I'm also excited because next weekend we do our annual Santa Claus land trip with the kiddos. So my brother and my sister-in-law, they have now 3 boys, 3 nephews. So every year we go to Santa Claus Land. It's in Indiana. It's a town that is Christmas themed. They have like a theme park there, but they have a lot of Christmas stuff and they do a light show and it's Rudolph. And Devin does the voices when we read the Rudolph story and the kids love it. So it's always a good time. It always makes me feel better. I love going on that trip, little outing.
I haven't always had a family to spend time with or gather with that made me feel a part of. So I am very grateful. Even though I don't like the aesthetic of Christmas and generally Christmas, I do enjoy spending time with the family a great deal. This family that I'm included in, our family, makes me feel happy. I love them and I'm grateful to spend time with them.
It's always a good time and the kids always have a interesting commentary. They're hilarious. So we'll give you the highlights of that next week. I'm sure Al will have something great to say. So
I enjoy it. I just don't trust Santa. I don't trust Santa Claus at all.
so my favorite memory still is the first time that you got to meet Santa.
Okay, yeah, I will say I grew up without Christmas, and I just had to sit on Santa's lap,
And he let you.
and he let me tell him what I want for Christmas, and I can't remember what I told him, but I was just so excited to sit on his lap and meet Santa.
It was great.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. It was hilarious. I just remember, like, being in line and the kids were doing it, and then you said it, you're like, "Yeah, I never met Santa," and he just turns around and goes, "You never met Santa? Well, come on over." And
He
your face lit up.
well, he didn't I it was my idea. The kids are doing it. I'm gonna do it. I like to join in with whatever the kids are doing.
It was great. I we still have that picture. It's my favorite. We should post it for the
Even
holiday season.
that one time at the fair, the kids wanted our other nephews wanted to get face paint, so I got face paint.
Yeah.
I got a butterfly on the side of my face.
Oh, yeah, that was hilarious.
Yeah.
That was also a good day. It was hot, though. I hate being hot. So, we got that coming up.
We're moving.
We're
How
gonna
much are we gonna talk about this move? Because this move is already terrible.
we're not gonna go into too much. So, long story short, we're having some difficulties with this current apartment that we're in that are not being handled appropriately.
It was perfect for a year and a half. Very nice, very lovely,
Just
ju
small.
just a little small, and that was fine. I was okay with that, but very nice, loved living here, and then the past 6 months, things have just gotten terrible.
Very, very much so. So, we are currently in the market for a new place. So, we're waiting to hear back from a couple that we've inquired about. But we'll be moving. So, headquarters will be shifting soon, hopefully sooner rather than later. But that's been stressful. But aside from that, I mean, I think everything is going good. We are, of course, working on content. Probably won't do a whole lot for the rest of the year as far as just we're just going to be publishing our episode every week, of course. But really, next year, once we get moved and settled in, we're really going to start ramping up creating content for you all. So, like we've said, we really want to hear from you. If you want to go to our website, it's www.paraphenomenonpodcast.com. There is a contact us section. You can send us your requests, ideas, feedback, whatever you want. What do you want to see? What are you interested in? But we have some fun stuff planned for next year, and we're really looking forward to that.
right now, what I've been into on a personal basis, I travel a lot, so I listen to things on YouTube or Spotify, different podcasts, and lately I've been down this rabbit hole of aliens. A lot of different alien species, different treaties our government has allegedly formed with these alien species,
I'm really
and I've
intrigued.
just done a lot of research, and it's been really enjoyable and fun. It may be a while. I just don't know if I'm ready to cover aliens yet because it is deep. It is so deep.
I mean, I'm sure we'll cover various alien topics multiple times throughout the course of our podcast days. But yeah, I'm excited for the first time that you do like a deep dive.
You have whistleblower stories where they tell about different aliens working with the government. So, conspiracy theories that whistleblowers spread, but then you have conspiracy theories that say, oh, the government's feeding the whistleblowers information to say on purpose, and it's upsetting because I want to be a believer. I like to keep my mind open to the ideas, the theories, the stories, the conspiracies. I like to be open to all of them.
Right.
It's just upsetting that one of the cool ones contradicts every single other one that is collectively way cooler. It's frustrating, but we're going to do a deep dive.
I'm excited for that.
And I also want to get information on how to debunk the alien stories. Because some of them, some of the crazier ones, are really hard to debunk.
Yeah.
Like, there's video, audio evidence, there's pictures that were doctored by NASA, and we will provide links that show where NASA has said they have artists on staff to adjust the images.
Really.
They do. There was a I saw a clip of what is it? Public relations meeting with journalists, and it was on the news where they were introducing their artists at NASA that help make the images look more presentable to the public.
Or presentable. What's presentable mean?
Well, to them, just more visible officially,
Hmm.
but according to actual images released on Mars, you can see man-made structures.
Oh, oh,
Yeah,
well,
you can see man-made structures on Mars,
interesting.
and I found out that there is see, I'm not ready for this, xenon there is it's a chemical in the dirt on Mars, and that chemical the only way that that chemical is created is by nuclear fission.
Oh, that's deep.
So, there were massive nuclear explosions on Mars that destroyed its atmosphere.
Allegedly.
That chemical is only formed because of nuclear fission.
Everything is alleged.
The only thing no, this is by a scientist. I'll get the exact name of the scientist
Devin.
and his credentials, but the only thing open to speculation is, did this nuclear fission happen naturally? Because there is a way that nuclear explosions can happen naturally
Oh,
due to uranium in the crust, or however you say that. There's uranium on the planet that would have gone off. Or aliens blew it up with nuclear warheads, which is crazier.
We would like to preface and say that
But
all
according
opinions expressed in this podcast are ours and are not representation of fact. It is for entertainment only. You can make your own decision on
I will
it.
tell you what's backed by science, and I will tell you what is conspiracy.
Okay, just let the people know we're not crazy. We just like weird stuff.
I will
We
do an alien episode where I dive deeper and I have the name of that chemical. Xenon. It's a number. It's a number. Xenon 800, Xenon 100,
zoom,
Xenon
zoom, zoom.
900. Oh, shut up.
Make your heart go
I
boom,
think
boom.
of that. Was that Hillary Duff movie?
No, no.
She looked like Hillary Duff.
It was Kristen Storm, I think was her name.
Okay. Well, I think of that Xenon movie every time I think of Mars now.
I'm gonna have Zetus Lapidus stuck in my head for the rest of the day.
Don't ever say that. I don't know what that means. I
It's
can't
from the
remember.
movie.
I can't remember
Okay.
what that means. I'm gonna get to the main stories and get off Mars, but I'm obsessed with Mars right now. Um,
I'm excited. Listen, I love that. You know I love that stuff.
so my favorite stories that I ever hear, the true scary stories that I love to hear, are about Appalachia. I love those stories about
Gotcha.
Appalachia. Please forgive me, audience. Appalachia. We live
Adjacent.
adjacent, and I don't know that. Appalachia. I love the stories about Appalachia, skinwalkers, and all that,
Quit
and the
saying the
crazy
word.
stuff. Skinwalkers, okay. The stuff I'm about ready to talk about right now is dangerous to talk about. But I got some of these stories from YouTube channels like Mr. X, um, also numerous TikToks from people that have experienced these happenings, and they did stress in some of the videos that they could get in trouble for talking about this stuff
Oh,
and telling these stories. But since they already did and they didn't get in trouble or cursed, I'm just telling secondhand stories or third-hand stories. So I don't think I'm at risk. Nobody listens to our podcast anyway, so I'm not going to get cursed. But this episode is primarily about Haiti. Weird occurrences, weird stories in Haiti.
oh, interesting.
And I started my Friday looking up stories about zombies.
You love zombies.
Well, these are voodoo zombies, Haitian voodoo zombies. I started looking up stories about voodoo zombies, and I kind of got stuck in this rabbit hole about Haiti, and I found even crazier stories from Haiti.
Okay.
Now, these stories were quoted as true stories, but I have no information to back this up, no video or anything like that. Now, the main story about Clairvius Narcisse is very well documented. Scientific research, researchers, doctors, all that. That can be proven. There is information to back that up.
That something happened.
Yes, it was a big story when it happened around the world. And I bet some of our listeners will already know about it. They even made a movie about it. Now, the movie is very embellished, very crazy. I think the movie was John Carpenter, Serpent in the Rainbow,
Okay.
or
Wes Craven,
Wes
Serpent in the
Craven. I
Rain.
confused the two because they're similar. Wes Craven, Serpent in the Rainbow. Is it Wes Craven? Do you know
It's
this?
yes.
Oh, you know this. Okay. Because you know. If you say you know, I believe you. But if I look it up later and you're wrong, I'll be angry.
It's Wes Craven.
And our listeners will be angry
They
too.
will. It's okay. You guys can shame me, but there's no shame. You said John Carpenter.
You haven't even seen the movie.
How do you know that I haven't seen
I
Serpent in
know
the
you
Rainbow?
haven't.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Have you seen the movie, Kid?
No, but I've heard
Okay,
it
exactly.
but I know the story that you're talking about, and I know that it's Serpent in the
Yeah,
Rainbow.
because I've told you a million times.
Yes, but Wes Craven did Serpent in the Rainbow.
Isn't it a crazy
It
story?
is, it's a crazy story, I'm
They're gonna
super
love
excited
this
to yeah,
story.
I think so.
Okay. This series of stories are related to a very closed practice that we are not part of, a culture that we are not part of, a place that we have not been to. So take everything with a grain of salt. These stories come from people that have actually been to Haiti, have relatives in Haiti, and are from that culture. We do not claim to be representatives or experts on Haitian culture.
We just really enjoy the stories.
Yeah, these stories are really interesting, really crazy. People should hear them.
Yeah.
Okay. So my notes aren't very organized this time around. Might be jumping around. I just kind of wrote down interesting parts that I've found. Some of them are cohesive stories, but for instance, I wrote down, okay, I'm going to fill in the blanks. Hope I don't use a lot of filler words, but in Haiti, there have been a lot of tales of zombies, a lot of reports of people witnessing people that have been declared dead walking the villages. So, people they know of that have been declared deceased walking their villages aimlessly and in a daze, confused. Generally, they're working in cane fields, sugarcane fields, plantations, working in fields of the rich. Yeah,
Haitian zombies.
Haitian zombies. So, you've heard of blood diamonds, and we avoid blood diamonds. So, fuck blood diamonds. How about zombie sugar?
Haitian zombie sugar.
Haitian zombie sugar, or just zombie sugar. They harvest sugar from the sugarcane fields in Haiti. So, I wonder where our sugar comes from because they sold diamonds and they say conflict free diamonds. I think they should put on the package zombie free sugar, or this sugar was not made with zombie labor.
It's almost like a modern day slavery
Yes.
situation.
Yes. Well, I typically think of modern day slavery in terms of the prison system, how
Right.
they use prisoners as slaves.
Right.
And this is just on a whole nother level because they don't even have their own thoughts, their own feelings, or control over themselves at all.
Oh, that's
And I'll go in deeper, but they are fed hallucinogens that keep them compliant and confused. Part of this, zombies were kind of tales and myths until around the time, around 1980s, when they actually had hard cases of this happening, like verifiable cases of this happening, investigations into this happening, like that book, Serpent and the Rainbow. Because not only do they tell this story in Serpent and the Rainbow, a man actually, the writer of the book, I can't remember his name, he actually took a trip to investigate what these chemicals were or what this practice did to make these zombies. Maybe he wanted an army of zombies.
so when we think zombie, everyone thinks like virus or cordyceps, and there's really not like a real life case of zombies, but this is as close as we're
That we
getting
know of.
that we know of,
So I
allegedly.
did do a deep dive into a government document known as Conplan 8888, which is the standard operating procedure in the event of a zombie outbreak. Legit document released by the government. Their plan is let us deal with it while they hide out until it's over.
Could you imagine being the person in the United States government that has to, like, write out this documentation?
Yeah, the most interesting part of the document, or one of the most interesting parts of the document, is the classifications of the different kind of zombies that we could have. And it reads like that one cracked article, essentially. Like,
It's like you
was
got
it?
your rabid zombies, you got your
Yeah,
virus
rabies zombies,
zombies,
mad cow zombies,
your cordyceps zombies.
cordyceps. Yes, that is legit. That is a legit
Cordyceps
concern.
are the thing that we should be concerned about.
That is a legit concern by the government. But maybe we shouldn't really take that very seriously because so are evil magic zombies.
Evil magic
It
zombies.
says evil magic zombies in the document. This is supposed to be a serious document, and the biggest zombie threat is evil magic zombies.
And so would voodoo count as
I
magic
mean,
zombies?
any
Or
kind of necromancy.
is that what they it's interesting though, if you think about it, like, they wrote when was this do you know when the document was created?
I can't remember.
We'll have to look
I
into
think it was released in the 90s or it was released in around the 2000s. Remember when there was a big boom in zombie culture,
like, when Resident
like
Evil came out.
like World War Z, not Resident Evil, World War Z, this was after. World War Z, The Zombie Survival Guide, Zombieland, 28 Days Later, all those zombie movies that were coming out at once, that big boom in zombie popularity. There was a theory that it was a half-ass way of the government preparing us for a zombie attack if it were to happen. Like, they have their training, and that was their way of training and conditioning us was a big boom in zombie culture. It was around the time that the document was released, and that's why they think that. But that's just hearsay or
Speculation.
yeah. So there's no
Could
proof.
be a coincidence.
It could just be a coincidence, but I don't really believe in coincidence myself when it comes to that. But that's just me. That's why I have a podcast of the paranormal.
I mean, like I said, though, it's really interesting that magic zombies are at the top of their list, but then you have,
Well,
like,
it's the worst. I don't think it's the top of the list. I don't think it's the most likely, but in that event, they have to pray a lot and they get priests involved. Now, there is necromancy in voodoo, so I really imagine that necromancy in from any kind of culture might possibly create an undead army.
I mean, valid. But I'm just thinking, I can just imagine myself sitting there and getting, like, an assignment, like, "Okay, we need you to come up with a guide for zombie survival," and I'm just sitting here like, "What is the worst case scenario that I can think of?" And I'm like, "Yeah, evil magic zombies."
Standard operating procedure
An
and SOP
SOP for
for
I'm gonna write an
zombies.
SOP for a zombie outbreak. That
That would be wonderful.
I just know that person
I
had the
bet you could
best
write a
day.
better one than they did.
I'm positive I probably could.
And this came out as a serious document. It wasn't a joke document or a joke like with the CDC and when they released their standard operating procedure in the event of a zombie attack outbreak because the CDC also has one.
I think theirs was supposed to be like, "Ha ha,"
Yeah, yeah, but Con Plan 8888 is
it's
serious,
a serious.
and really you can apply it to any kind of invasion,
Yeah.
honestly. So, I've heard a lot of crazy stories, and I'm just gonna go through bizarre stories that I heard second or third hand, from TikToks, Mr. X, other YouTube channels that I would went down a rabbit hole on. and different articles I found online. So now there apparently is a rich white man, and at night he drives a truck with his headlights off at fast speeds, like dangerous speeds, barreling down dirt roads. And he can be seen leaning out of the truck window with a lasso made of human intestines to capture people that would never be seen again.
That kinda sounds like something you tell your kids.
It does. But these are
The
some of the
intestine
crazy
man's gonna come and get
stories.
you.
These are some of the crazy stories that I've heard. These people that are caught are never seen again, and even employees of the man disappear, but in the area from the person that told the story that in the area where they disappear from, it's the only good work that some people can get, so they work for him anyway because they need money, and legend also has it that this man is a vampire. So his employees disappear, the people he captures disappears because he's feasting on their blood.
Oh.
So a lot of the videos that I heard of say never walk around Haiti at night past a certain time without permission from the spirit world, quote, spirit world, which usually means a voodoo priest, a practitioner of the art. Spiritual people will warn you and tell you not to be out at a certain time. And if they catch you, they may warn you not to do it again. I found a story where someone was repeatedly caught out, around not just like dark, like 8 or 9 or 10 PM, but 2 or 3 AM. And they were caught repeatedly without permission. And around the third time that a spiritual elder came to them and told them, "Hey, why are you out? We've told you numerous times not to be out this late. You're not allowed to be out this late." And because the other person was very religious, and they not only mouthed off to them and cussed them out, a voodoo priest, not only a voodoo priest, but an elder in the practice, they cussed them out and told them, "I don't care what you have to say. I don't need your permission because I have my God on my side." Well, by the time they got home and their friends got home as well, not only them, but their friends, they were deathly ill, had a very high fever, and they were just really sick, and they only got worse from that point on. They went to a doctor, and the doctor knew. They have a really nice they at least in one of these stories, they have a really nice hospital in Haiti. They have, like, with advanced medical care and everything, but even then, the doctor will ask them, "Hey, were you out late at night?" And they were like, "Oh, yeah, I was out late." Well, there's really nothing we can do for you then."
So it was like a spiritual affliction, not a physical
Right.
illness.
And they run tests, and they can't figure out what's wrong with them. They just get worse and worse and eventually die. And that's what happens when you disrespect a spiritual elder in the practice. So never do that, ever.
Was this like a local person or was this like somebody visiting? Did you
This was the story was the cousin of the person telling the story that had been to Haiti a few times to visit them.
So the cousin telling the story was from Haiti and the
Ye
person visiting was a visitor visiting their cousin?
The person telling the story was the cousin of the person that died.
Okay. And the person that died was from Haiti or was not?
living in Haiti.
Okay.
They lived in Haiti,
Okay.
so they should have known better. The person in the story said they should have known better not to be out late like they were. Even being out late, but they should have definitely known better not to cuss out an elder.
Yeah.
And this elder was just being nice, warning them out of concern for them. That's that's bad.
Yeah, don't do that.
Don't do it anyway, but especially if somebody's just being nice to you out of concern and warning you instead of doing something to you right then and there on site.
Do we know why they don't want people out late?
I didn't get an exact info, I guess, because late in the evening it's for the spiritual world and not for the living.
Oh, okay.
I think it's must be disrespectful to the spirits or possibly it's dangerous in general. So this is kind of interesting because this came back. You remember our first episode when I brought up the Rougarou
Or loop guru.
or Loop Guru? Well, in Haiti, they have practitioners of the magic arts that actually transform into animals and feast on babies. There are practitioners known as the Lugawoo, Lugawo, Lugao, it's pronounced Lugao, that eat them or drink their blood. I heard a story about someone living in Haiti. They were a kid, and none of the kids wanted anything to do with them. And they asked them why. And they said that their mother was a Lugao. They didn't want to be around them because anyone around their mother disappears. Any of the kids around their mother disappears. Well, this kid goes to confront her mother about it and tells them that the kids won't spend time with them and play with them because they say that, "Mother, you are a Lugao." And in the story, the mother doesn't deny it. The mother asks, "Which kid told you I was a Lugao?" And the kid was smart enough to know not to tell them their exact name,
Yeah.
so they didn't. Well, the kid went to their grandmother, and the grandmother said, "Mind your own business. Don't go into their private room. This is your mother and I's religion, and one day it will be yours." That's an account from somebody that grew up with a family of Lugao.
So, shapeshifters that would eat children?
Yes. So if you see animals walking around, like they showed a video of a cat speaking English, but in that cat way that you see on videos with that weird cadence, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you see animals walking around doing that, you do not engage with them or you may not live to talk about it, they say. Those are warnings they give you. It is a firm belief.
I feel like if I stumble across a cat that is gonna speak to me, one of 2 things are gonna happen. I'm gonna run because
I don't even need to know that
like,
to avoid that animal.
yeah, like, I'm gonna run because like, s well, what is this? Or I'm gonna get eaten because 'cause I'm gonna be like, "Hi, how are you? You're talking to me, you're adorable," and then I'm gonna get eaten.
I'm running if I see a cat speaking.
Oh, yeah, I mean If I see a cat talking at all, I think I'm gonna run, but I also really loved Sabrina the Teenage Witch, so, Salem, he talked. It's a trap.
Salem. I named Crowley after Salem from Sabrina because Salem's last name was Saberhagen, and Crowley's name is Crowley Saberhagen Wood.
I just want you to know that they put that on his shot record.
Yeah, I did that on purpose because I thought it was cool. And my friend has a graphic novel series, and one of the characters that he came up with is named Saberhagen because I said that name and gave him that name. He thought it was cool.
It is a
And he made a really cool character and story arc out of it. I really like it. The Book of Daya. He's got his name's Sergil. He's the writer and artist for The Book of Daya, and it's a really good series. Didn't mean to plug him, but we did. I did. Shout out. I love the guy.
shout out Sergil.
Anything to help an artist. So I heard this other story where when they were a kid, they were sleeping, woke up to footsteps walking on their roof, loud footsteps on their roof. And so the adults just started praying when they heard it.
You know that things are really popping off when people just start
Yeah, when the adults just start praying,
they just start praying.
frantically praying,
Mhm.
like not to get dark, but kind of personal. But when um the night my mom died, I
Mhm.
didn't know she was so sick, but I was in the waiting room with my family, and then they started praying, and I was like, "Fuck, this is serious."
This is it.
That's how I knew it was serious, like really serious. So I was like, "You hear praying from adults out loud, multiple adults out loud, something is happening, and it's bad." So the kids started praying as well. There was a little baby that was crying really loud. And the thing is that Lugao are usually coming for the baby, as I said. The noise on the roof stopped, but then a cat landed by the front door and the cat started scratching and it was making like noises like baby cries at the door. And when they woke up in the morning, like they just went to sleep and in fear. And when they woke up that morning, the baby had passed away.
Oh my god.
Okay, so I'm gonna tell another story. So I heard a story about this guy named Leona from one of the villages. He was not only famous for his strength and power, but also he made this amazing soup that he sold out of his house. He told everyone that he made the soup out of bull testicles, but there were reports of people finding fingers and toes in the soup, human fingers and toes in the soup.
Oh.
And everyone still bought it anyway because it was said that he cast a spell on it or he put a magical item in the soup to make it irresistible. And like, I would have still ate it too. I don't know. Sounds good regardless. If the hype's good enough, I'm gonna still eat it. Like I'm gonna still try it.
So how was he procuring the parts? Was he just like did they say?
I'm gonna go into some stuff maybe that might hint as to how he procured the parts. So this guy in the same village was looking for his missing kids.
Oh no.
Yeah, you know where this is going. he asked a voodoo priest to divine as to where his kids may have gone. And the voodoo priest pointed the finger at Leona. The voodoo priest knew how strong and powerful Leona was because he also practiced voodoo. Leona also practiced voodoo. So he told the father if he wanted to destroy Leona to get some of Leona's feces and spread it on Leona's door, then bring the rest back to the voodoo priest. The father did, but the next day Leona finds the feces on his door and gets very angry and starts yelling at the people in the village. But Leona was familiar with voodoo, as I said before, so he attempted to get revenge on the person. But before he could finish his spell or potion, he dropped dead because he was unaware that voodoo had been done to him. It's just one of the really interesting stories that I heard. If you can't tell already, you don't disrespect elders or you don't disrespect strangers in Haiti because you never know what's going to happen to you.
I feel like that's just good life advice in
In
general.
general, yeah, but especially there from these stories anyway. I haven't lived there, so I can't confirm absolutely, but it's great advice for this country. So I imagine it's great advice for there. A person had been rude to a witch, had mouthed off to a witch, and they told them they had 3 days. Now, the person lived there. She knew exactly what the witch meant by you have 3 days. And after 3 days, they got sick and died. The family found out that they didn't die from natural causes. So, several months later, after they had died, the family decided to bring her back from the dead. Now, to bring someone back from the dead, and they're essentially undoing the curse that the original witch had placed on the person. So they needed someone more powerful than the original witch to undo the curse and bring them back from the dead. Turns out the uncle of the person that died was more powerful than the witch that had cursed her. And he decided to help and bring her back from the dead. And like I said, this is undermining the witch's work. Well, they do the ritual. The uncle does the ritual and brings her back from the dead. But there are rules to bringing someone back from the dead. They can never talk about it out loud. They are never allowed to let her know that she died at all. And those are the two rules. And the brother said that she didn't seem normal, like her normal self after she came back from the dead.
Something wasn't quite right.
Right. But because she had been dead for 2 months. So the brother was afraid of her.
Rightfully so.
Usually it said people raise the dead in Haiti because they need workers. But the witch found out that they undid her magic. So she went to someone more powerful than the uncle and turned the uncle into a cow. The uncle is now a cow currently.
A cow?
Yes, a cow. A cow. Like, and it goes on. They went on to say the brother went on to say that his sister that was brought back from the dead after 2 months of being dead, she went on to have a life. She has a boyfriend now. She seems doing like she's doing all right. He talks to her from time to time. So life goes on.
She just can't talk about it.
No, nobody can tell her or talk about it.
Oh, so, like,
She
she
doesn't
doesn't
know.
know that
Right.
she was dead. Oh. Oh.
And heard another story. This guy was standing on the street with a group of friends when a woman approached them holding a basket made of dried palm leaves. She had a very kind demeanor and asked the boys to leave the area. Now the guy left. He started walking away. He was cool with it. He knew you listen if a stranger asks you to do something. And he was watching his friends as he walked away, and his friends stayed and started yelling at her, demeaning her, and asking her why should they move or leave. And the person who walked away was watching them. The person telling the story was watching them. And she bent down and took several oddly shaped objects out of the basket and set them down on the ground. He could hear her say to them, "If you don't want to leave, that's fine." The guy just winced as she said it because he knew what she meant. And the guy winced as one of the friends kicked her basket in anger. She continued without reaction. They never found out what she was doing that night, but every month after that, one of them died. One of the friends died.
Oh.
And the person that told the story and walked away was the only one that lived. See, I don't mess with anybody that practices magic at all. I'm going to be like the friendliest person ever. I just don't mess with those people at all because I believe in it firmly.
I think you just shouldn't mess with people.
Well, I don't mess with people. It's bad karma to mess with people, but I don't. I especially don't mess with magical practitioners. I show deep respect because I do respect what they do.
Do you think that some of these people just didn't realize that, or maybe they didn't believe that that was a thing?
Maybe, but I find it hard. Maybe they didn't believe or take it seriously, but with all these stories that I've heard and gathered just from looking like last minute, I didn't know I was doing this story until last minute. So I just stumbled upon them pretty quickly and easily. So I imagine living there, you should know better than to mess with people.
Right.
I don't know. I can't speak for the people, the
Right.
culture. I can just tell my stories that I found, the interesting stories that I found. I wouldn't want to speak for people that aren't me at all. It really I don't know, it makes me cringe or it irritates me when people try to speak for other cultures at all. So I'm not about to do that. So I can't say how many people believe and how many people don't. I just know the people that told these stories definitely believe.
They definitely believe that something's going on.
So, okay, cool. Okay, so some of you all know me or know of me enough to know I love to make jokes. I love to make fun of everything. Everything's a joke to me, at least inside my head. But you will notice this episode, I have made very few jokes, if any. And there is a really good reason why I am not making many jokes at all on this episode. I don't really think you come to this podcast for necessarily jokes. I hope that's not all because I do not make jokes about these type of things. I'm very superstitious. Very superstitious. But I am going to get to the main story of Clairvius Narcisse. Clairvius Narcisse was the name of a Haitian man who, on April 30th, 1962, showed up at a hospital in Des Chapelles, which kind of sounds like Dave Chappelle.
It does kinda sound like Dave Chappelle. Let's
Mm.
also by say, please forgive if, we mispronounce anything.
Oh, well, I heard this pronounced, so
No, yeah, no, I'm
hopefully
sure
I got
it's
it right.
fine, but just for those of you
Because I'm kind of dumb, so
you're not dumb, it's just
I'm dumb
Haiti
about words.
Haiti has a, like, large, like, French influence too, doesn't it?
Yeah,
So,
I
like
don't know, maybe.
yeah, I think so. I don't know,
I
I
know
don't know.
French words suck.
Wow.
I mean, to pronounce, they do if you're not French. I only say that because I'm not French.
That reminds me of episode 1 when we were trying to help
Yeah, I
you
just
do
did
stuff at
did terrible.
Gévaudan. No, you did a good job, but I just remember you and I, like
We wanted to make sure.
yeah, and you were like you kept saying it, and every time it was different, and I'm like, "No."
I still don't know how to pronounce the currency or remember how to pronounce the currency. Louvers,
Lives
Louvres.
lives, I
Okay.
think.
He showed up at a hospital in Des Chapelles. And by the way, I heard it's a really nice hospital in Haiti with an undiagnosable illness. And after 3 days, he not only got worse, but he was dead. He was stored in one of those freezers, those morgue freezers for about 24 hours. And then he was buried.
Okay, so man gets sick, man goes to the hospital, man dies.
Yeah.
Man gets buried. Very linear chain of events there.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm kind of scattered. So, you know,
No, I wasn't saying that. I was just
no,
saying, like, it
wait.
was very
I mean,
typical.
you're going to find out
Yeah.
how scattered I am.
Oh, okay.
You're about to.
Oh,
If
okay.
you didn't know,
I didn't already know.
after all this marriage, born on January 2nd, 1922, he lived a relatively normal life with two sisters and a brother. Now, him and his brother had a falling out over land that his brother thought he should share. I believe it was an inheritance, according to some stories. He was a pretty healthy guy, no physical conditions. And on April 30th, 1962, he woke up feeling extremely ill. He had a high fever and sweats. He got worse and worse, but then he started coughing up blood. And that's when he went to the hospital. He was there for a couple days, getting worse and worse. They couldn't diagnose the illness. And then at the age of 40, he passed away on the third day. His body stayed in a cold storage for 20 hours. An American doctor signed his death certificate. Then he was taken back to his village to be buried the next day. In 1980, his sister was out running errands. Then, as she is walking down the street, a man stops her and says, "It's me, Clairvius." She immediately did not believe him and started walking away. Before she could walk away, he told her his child nickname, and he was correct about it.
Oh.
Still, she didn't believe it because anybody could have known his childhood nickname with
Right.
just a little
A little
been
digging.
in the village or the city. She didn't believe it. But then he would share personal info about his childhood that only their family would know.
Oh.
So then she believed.
Did he just not how many years later was this?
18 years.
So that's why she didn't recognize him because
Right.
he was older.
He's a lot older.
Yeah.
So she didn't recognize him. So May 2nd, 1962 was when he was pronounced dead and then buried. But when he was buried, he was fully conscious in a state of paralysis. While he is being buried, while he is being buried, he can only sit still. He spent hours in his coffin, He was awake but paralyzed. And then he heard voices and he began to hear his coffin being dug up. Once his coffin was open, he saw a voodoo priest or Bakur along with a servant of the Bakur. Before he could ask any questions, he was beaten by the priest and the other man. And then the Bakur forced a paste or datura into his mouth. He began to feel woozy and started hallucinating. He then lost his memory, and they carried him to a sugar plantation to work with the other zombies. The voodoo priest was eventually beaten to death by another prisoner, and Clairvius was freed then to wander through villages, working odd jobs, and begging. Finally, he traveled back to Leicester. He was freed because the regular doses of hallucinogen ceased, and he eventually regained sanity, unlike many of the others who suffered brain damage from being buried alive. And he returned to his family after 18 years. Clairvius explained that his brother has sold him into slavery over their disagreement and falling out, I believe. He didn't return to his village until his brother had died.
So he remembered earlier than that, but he wanted to be sure the brother was gone before he came home.
Yes, because as long as his brother was alive, he was in danger.
Does it tell you, like, do you know how long he was a zombie?
It does not.
Okay.
People became determined to find out what kind of drugs could have produced these effects, and researchers were told by the people when they asked it was all black magic. But he found out that whenever Bokors performed rituals, they used the pace, the datura, as it's called, and he found out that they use a powerful neurotoxin from the puffer fish to produce the paralyzing effect. But they have to get the amount exactly right or they could kill the person. And it was all over newspapers, not only in Haiti, but around the world. It was greatly publicized, and it's verifiable that he was pronounced dead. I believe they did a blood test ultimately to get undeniable proof. I think that I've talked to a lot of people, a lot of my friends, and one of their biggest fears is to be paralyzed, unable to move, and buried alive.
That's gotta be so traumatizing just in itself, like, being alive, but appearing dead and not being able to tell anyone, like, "Hey, no, I'm still here," and then getting buried. That sounds completely horrifying.
I think the only upside to that is at least you get to know who shows up to your funeral and who's sad when you die. Like, you at least know how many people care about you, and you can be like, "Oh, well, that makes me feel good."
I feel like in the
But then
moment, you're
you're
not
buried.
thinking anything
Right,
about
I
those
know.
things.
I probably would, my ego. I probably would. But then I'll be in the ground and I'll be like, "Fuck. How did she break out of this in Kill Bill 2?"
You gotta short punches.
Yeah,
The short punches.
I gotta get good at those so I don't have to fear this anymore. My biggest fear is not only being buried alive because I've been paralyzed the entire time, but being in surgery paralyzed, awake, and able to feel everything because
Awesome.
that happens.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's my biggest fear that I don't want to go through. So that's it for tonight's episode. But remember, the strange stories never really end. We'll be back next week with another tale that'll keep you guessing what's out there. Until then, stay curious and maybe keep the light on.
Thanks for listening to Paranomenon. If you like this episode, follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or YouTube, and help us grow by sharing it with a friend who also enjoys the things that go bump in the night. See you soon.